Hello. Today we're going to talk about solving a right triangle given an angle and a side. So let's start off with our first question. Let's say we're given side B, which equals 32 degrees, as well as angle A, which equals 25 degrees. And of course we need to have our right angle, so angle C will be 90 degrees. In order to solve this, we're going to be looking for all the missing pieces. Okay? And the best way to start doing this is to draw out our triangle. So, first we have a right triangle, in which the right angle is angle C. Angle A and angle B can be either of the two angles here, as long as they are the acute ones. So, if we place angle A here at 25 degrees, and angle B up here, which is unknown. And we label our sides. Now remember that the sides opposite the angles are the lowercase letters. So opposite angle B will be side B. Opposite angle A will be side A. And opposite angle C will be side C. So if we look at this, we know and remember that side B is 32. And we are in fact missing angle B, side A, side C. Now, we need to decide what to solve for first. In truth, it doesn't make a difference. But if we look closely, we can see that we know two angles in a right triangle. More importantly, we know one angle, which is acute. And the two acute angles must add up to be 90 degrees. So that means that angle B is going to equal 90 degrees minus angle A. And since we know angle A, angle B would be 90 degrees minus 25 degrees, which of course works out to be 65 degrees. Now, the other two pieces of information that we're missing are a little bit trickier. We can't just use our geometry in order to find them. What we need to do in order to find them is use the information that we do have. Now remember, we know that angle A is 25 degrees. We can use that. As well as we do know that side B is 32. So if we use this angle here, angle A, and this side, we can now use those two pieces to come up with a trig equation that involves each of these individual missing pieces. What we should do is label the sides. So if we're going to use angle A, then we know side B would be the adjacent side. And since we're going to find side A first, the relationship to side A and angle A is the opposite side. So if we look at these two things, the trig function that relates the opposite and adjacent legs would be tangent. So the tangent of any angle is equal to the side opposite divided by the side adjacent. So in this case, the tangent of angle A, which is 25 degrees, equals the opposite leg, which is side A, divided by the adjacent side, which is 32. We now have an equation that has one variable in it. We can use our solving techniques for equations in order to solve this. So to undo dividing by 32, we multiply by 32 on both sides. 32's cancel out, and we're left with side A equals 32 times the tangent of 25 degrees. Now typing that into our calculator, we'd go ahead and get that A equals 14.9. Now, the third side would be side C. Okay? So again, we're going to use angle A. We'll use side B because that's what was originally given to us. But now we need to use side C, which is what we're looking for. And we label side C as the hypotenuse. So, what trig function involves the hypotenuse and adjacent? Well, that would be cosine. So, remember that the cosine of any angle is equal to the adjacent leg divided by the hypotenuse. So, the cosine of the angle, in this case angle A, which is 25 degrees, will be the adjacent side of 32 divided by the hypotenuse, which is C. Now, again, we'll use our algebraic solving techniques in order to solve for C. C is in our denominator, so we first off want to get it out of the denominator, in which case we multiply by C on both sides. That would give us C times the cosine of 25 degrees equals 32. And then this is C times, so we have to divide by the cosine of 25 degrees in order to get C alone. Which means C equals 32 divided by the cosine of 25 degrees. We type that into our calculator and we get that C turns out to be 35.3. What I'd like for you to do now, solve the following problem. Angle B equals 15.1 degrees. Side C is 10.7 and angle C equals 90 degrees. At this point, stop the video, try out this problem, and then resume it to see whether or not you have the correct answer. So, since you had time to solve this problem, let's see how we did. First off, let's start by sketching out our triangle. First, we need our right triangle. Right angle is, again, angle C. Angle B is 15.1 degrees. Angle A, we don't know. Side C is 10.7. And we're missing side B, side A, and again, angle A. So let's see if we can go through and figure out what these are. First off, let's start with angle A. Remember that the two acute angles, angle B and angle A, must add up to 90 degrees. So angle A will be equal to 90 degrees minus angle B. In this case, it'd be 90 degrees minus 15.1 degrees, or 74.9 degrees. Next, we need to find either A or B. Typically, we solve in alphabetical order. So again, we know angle B, we know side C, and we're trying to find side A. So let's go through and label what these things are in terms of angle B. So, side A would be the adjacent side. Side C is, of course, the hypotenuse. And while we're at it, side B would be the opposite side. So we can see that we're working with the adjacent side and hypotenuse and angle B. And of course that is cosine. So the cosine of 15.1 degrees is equal to the adjacent side, side A, divided by side C. To solve this, we multiply both sides by 10.7. 10.7 is crossed out on the right hand side, and we get A equals 10.7 times the cosine of 15.1 degrees, in which A turns out to be about 10.3. And then finally for side B, we can go ahead and see that we have the opposite side that we're trying to find. We know the hypotenuse, and that of course should bring up sine. So the sine of angle B, which is 15.1 degrees, should equal the opposite side, side B, divided by the hypotenuse, 10.7. Again, we can multiply by 10.7 on both sides to solve for side B. So B would be equal to 10.7 times the sine of 15.1 degrees, in which case B turns out to be approximately 2.8. Now looking over your work, is that what you got? Angle A is 74.9, side A is 10.3, and side B is 2.8. If this is what you got, congratulations. You can move on to the next unit. If not, we should go back and practice a couple more examples.